Welcome to Affluence Influenced, where wealth is always within reach. In this episode, we're diving deep into a dynasty of unimaginable power and prestige, the Saudi royal family. They are not just rulers of a nation, they are stewards of an empire built on oil, tradition, and unrivaled control. The House of Saud commands a fortune that eclipses even the most elite billionaires, and their influence stretches across the globe. But behind the palaces, gold-plated Rolls-Royces, and multi-billion-dollar smart cities lies a rich, complex story, one that traces back centuries and reveals how one family came to possess such extraordinary dominion. To understand the magnitude of Saudi wealth, we first need to understand its origin. In the 18th century, Muhammad ibn Saud formed a critical alliance with the Islamic reformer Muhammad ibn Abd al-Wahhab. This wasn't just a spiritual partnership, it was the foundation for a political empire. Together, they created the first Saudi state, a religiously driven territorial rule in Central Arabia. Though this state would later fall to the Ottoman Empire, its ideology and leadership structure lived on. The second Saudi state rose in the 19th century, and though it too was dismantled, the vision never died. It was the third rise, the modern kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that changed everything. Abdulaziz ibn Saud, a shrewd, charismatic tribal leader, undertook a campaign to unify the disparate tribes of the Arabian Peninsula. With a mix of diplomacy, marriage alliances, military strength, and religious fervor, Ibn Saud managed what others had failed to do for centuries: consolidate Arabia. In 1932, he declared the formation of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and crowned himself king. He ruled with a deep sense of vision, laying the groundwork for a monarchy that would eventually wield trillions of dollars and dominate global energy markets. But unifying the land was only the beginning. In the 1930s, American geologists discovered vast oil reserves beneath Saudi sands. It was the ultimate game changer. The discovery transformed a sparsely populated desert kingdom into one of the wealthiest and most strategically important countries in the world. Oil production surged, and with it came foreign interest, partnerships, and infrastructure. The Saudi government formed a joint venture with American oil companies, which later became known as Aramco. Over the decades, the Saudis took full control of the company, nationalizing it and turning it into a powerhouse. Today, Saudi Aramco is the most valuable company on earth, with valuations consistently hovering around $2 trillion. Its profits flow directly to the state, and by extension, to the royal family. The company's revenues are so massive that they fund not just the national budget, but also royal stipends, mega projects, and private ventures. And while Aramco may be technically a national asset, its operations are deeply intertwined with royal decision-making. The House of Saud uses this wealth to sustain its elite lifestyle and solidify its political control, distributing oil revenues across thousands of family members, political allies, and religious institutions. This is not simply a case of a rich monarchy, it's the most successful dynastic enterprise in modern history. The scale of the royal family is staggering. There are an estimated 15,000 members of the House of Saud, though only around 2,000 hold substantial wealth and political influence. This inner circle includes princes and princesses who serve as ministers, governors, military commanders, business executives, and cultural ambassadors. At the top of the hierarchy is King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, who ascended the throne in 2015 following the death of his half-brother, King Abdullah. As the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman holds both political and religious legitimacy, a critical aspect in a country where Islam is inseparable from governance. Though King Salman remains the official head of state, real power has shifted to his son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, commonly known as MBS. Since being named Crown Prince in 2017, MBS has taken the reins of the kingdom and launched an ambitious plan to transform Saudi Arabia's economy, image, and role on the global stage. His Vision 2030 initiative aims to diversify the kingdom's economy away from oil dependence and position Saudi Arabia as a hub for technology tourism and global investment. MBS is a bold, controversial figure, Some see him as a modernizer breaking taboos in an ultra-conservative society. Others view him as a ruthless consolidator of power who has cracked down on dissent and centralized authority like no Saudi leader before him. But regardless of perspective, few can deny MBS's vision is grand and expensive. His Vision 2030 is backed by trillions of dollars in state wealth, and it includes projects of unprecedented scale. The structure of the Saudi royal family is both intricate and hierarchical. While King Salman remains the monarch, succession in Saudi Arabia doesn't follow a straightforward father-to-son line. Instead, it passes among the sons and now grandsons of the founder, Abdulaziz ibn Saud. This has created a system where multiple branches of the family jockey for influence, often behind closed doors. Over the years, key royal factions have emerged, each controlling different ministries, regions, or revenue streams. One of the most powerful historical branches was the so-called Sudairi Seven, a block of full brothers born to Abdulaziz and his favorite wife, Hafsa bint Ahmed al-Sudairi. King Salman is the last surviving member of this influential group, and his son MBS represents the next generation of Sudairi dominance. This internal dynamic isn't just family drama, it's national politics. Power struggles between princes can determine foreign policy, economic priorities, and even whether reforms take root or are buried under conservatism. In recent years, MBS has strategically sidelined rival factions, consolidating power not just through titles, but by removing potential threats entirely. Several prominent princes have disappeared from public life, their fates unclear. Others have been seen pledging loyalty in highly choreographed settings. The message is clear. There's only room for one vision of the future, and it belongs to MBS. Internationally, the Saudi royal family wields immense soft power. Their wealth has flowed into the world's most luxurious real estate markets, from London penthouses to Beverly Hills mansions. Saudi royals are major stakeholders in global hospitality chains, own fleets of private jets, and often spend summers in the south of France aboard multi-deck super yachts. They donate to Western universities, fund cultural institutions, and endow think tanks. This isn't just generosity, it's strategy. By embedding themselves in the financial and cultural fabric of the West, the Saudis protect their long-term interests. They also manage to reshape their image in the process, appearing not as distant desert monarchs, but as global citizens with refined tastes and cosmopolitan sensibilities. This global reach extends to their investments as well. The Public Investment Fund now owns significant shares in companies like Uber, Disney, Facebook, and even sports organizations like Newcastle United Football Club in the UK. Through these assets, Saudi Arabia is no longer just an oil state. It's a silent partner in the day-to-day lives of millions of people around the globe. But even with this massive external presence, the heart of Saudi wealth remains domestic and closely guarded. The national budget is opaque when it comes to royal expenditures. There's no line item for palaces, allowances, or luxury goods. Yet estimates suggest that billions are spent annually to maintain the royal family's lifestyle. Each royal is entitled to monthly stipends, which increase with their proximity to the king. Some estimates put high-level prince allowances at over $270,000 per month, while lesser royals may receive tens of thousands. Multiply that across hundreds or even thousands of royals, and the numbers quickly climb into the billions. In addition to cash stipends, royals receive land grants, government contracts, and preferential business deals. It's not uncommon for a prince to serve as a middleman in a state oil or defense deal and take a cut simply for facilitating the arrangement. This has created a system where royal wealth is self-sustaining. They aren't just rich from oil, they're rich from being at the intersection of every lucrative decision in the kingdom. Culturally, the Saudi royal family has positioned itself as the protector of Islamic tradition. The title custodian of the two holy mosques isn't symbolic, it's central to their authority. By overseeing Mecca and Medina, the two holiest cities in Islam, the Saudi kings command religious legitimacy in the Muslim world. Millions of Muslims travel to Saudi Arabia every year for pilgrimage, known as Hajj and Umrah, generating not just spiritual capital, but billions in economic revenue. The expansion of the Grand Mosque and other holy sites is a top priority, and the royal family spares no expense. At the same time, they walk a fine line, balancing religious conservatism with the demands of modernization. MBS has pushed for more liberal reforms in recent years, allowing women to drive, opening cinemas, and promoting tourism. Yet the religious establishment remains powerful, and any misstep could lead to backlash from conservatives. This tightrope act is one of the most difficult aspects of Saudi governance, pushing the country forward without losing the support of its deeply religious base. Family members serve many roles beyond politics. Princess Rima bint Bandar Al Saud, for example, is Saudi Arabia's ambassador to the United States, and the first woman to hold that role. She represents a new wave of Saudi leadership, educated abroad, fluent in diplomacy, and tasked with reshaping the kingdom's image on the global stage. Other royals run mega-charities, cultural foundations, and tech initiatives. Prince Khalid bin Al-Walid is a vocal advocate for veganism and environmental sustainability, a surprising stance in a nation known for opulence. These individuals serve as faces of a new, softer Saudi Arabia, one that embraces reform while retaining its royal legacy. Still, their wealth and status are not up for negotiation. Whether a traditionalist or a reformer, every Saudi royal is backed by deep resources. They move through the world with private security, luxury entourages, and elite access. It's a lifestyle so exclusive that even billionaires often pale in comparison. The sheer scale of the Saudi royal family's physical assets is staggering. Across the kingdom, they own dozens of sprawling palaces, each designed not just for comfort, but for spectacle. The Al Yamama Palace in Riyadh, a primary residence of the king, stretches over acres of marble floors, golden chandeliers, and ornate fountains. It's not simply a home, it's a symbolic fortress of power, built to impress visiting dignitaries and intimidate political rivals. In Jeddah, the Al Salam Palace offers another stronghold on the western coast, while other palatial residences dot the country in hidden compounds, beachside resorts, and desert retreats. Some palaces are historic, echoing traditional Arabian design with intricate stonework and courtyards. Others are ultra-modern, featuring private cinemas, indoor pools, helipads, and entire wings reserved for foreign visitors. Beyond Saudi borders, the family's taste for real estate stretches across continents. Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, once dubbed the Arabian Warren Buffett, owned a penthouse in New York's Plaza Hotel, multiple estates in Europe, and a private island. Properties in London's most elite neighborhoods have been quietly purchased under shell companies linked to royal interests, including mansions worth over $300 million. In France, the Chateau Louis XIV, a palace built near Versailles with gold leaf ceilings, a moat, and a wine cellar that rivals royal courts of old, was reportedly bought by a Saudi buyer for over $300 million. It was once called the most expensive home ever sold. These aren't simply purchases, they're declarations of presence. The royal family's fingerprints are everywhere. Quiet yet commanding, impossible to miss once you start looking. Their passion for aviation is just as unmatched. While many billionaires boast about owning a private jet or two, the Saudi royal fleet puts them all to shame. King Salman himself is known to travel with a full entourage, doctors, chefs, security, and even furniture, requiring not just a single plane, but multiple aircraft for overseas visits. When the king visited Indonesia in 2017, he reportedly arrived with 1,500 people and took over an entire hotel. The Saudi fleet includes customized Boeing 747s, outfitted like flying palaces. These jets have gold-plated bathroom fixtures, conference rooms, and prayer rooms facing Mecca. Other royals own Gulfstreams, Airbus A340s, and even converted military planes for personal use. Fuel costs are irrelevant. The royal budget absorbs it all. In addition to private jets, they also use fleets of helicopters to shuttle between royal compounds within the kingdom. And when luxury on land is needed, their car collections rival the world's top collectors. Prince Al-Walid is known for his diamond-encrusted Mercedes SL 600. Other royals have been seen in fleets of Rolls-Royces, Maybachs, Bentleys, Ferraris, and limited edition Bugattis. Many of these cars are custom-made, upholstered with rare leather, inlaid with precious stones, and detailed with personalized insignias. They are not simply modes of transport, but moving symbols of status and taste. Their love of the seas manifests in their yachts, floating empires that redefine extravagance. One of the most famous is the Serene, a $500 million super yacht originally built for a Russian oligarch, but later used by MBS. The vessel has a saltwater swimming pool, 2 helipads, a hangar for a helicopter, multiple jacuzzis, an underwater viewing room, and room for dozens of guests and crew. The yacht is so large it needs a full team of staff year-round just to maintain its pristine condition. Other royals have owned or rented the Dilbar, Radiant, and other super yachts measuring over 100 meters long. These yachts serve not only as vacation havens, but also as private venues for high-level meetings. Away from the press, free from surveillance, and surrounded by every imaginable comfort. Owning a yacht of this magnitude is a statement of both wealth and privacy. On these vessels, royals can host foreign dignitaries, CEOs, and even Hollywood stars in complete seclusion. It's diplomacy and leisure, wrapped in oceanic opulence. Yet the House of Saud doesn't just live luxuriously, they shape the economic destiny of the country and the region. Through the Public Investment Fund, they are steering Saudi Arabia into a post-oil future. This fund, estimated at over $700 billion and aiming to surpass $1 trillion, has rapidly become one of the most aggressive sovereign wealth vehicles on Earth. It's not just invested in Western companies like Uber and Meta, it's building entire industries from scratch within the kingdom. The PIF is behind the LIV Golf League, a bold and controversial attempt to rival the PGA Tour. It's behind Lucid Motors, an electric vehicle company that hopes to challenge Tesla. It owns shares in SoftBank's Vision Fund, which has backed dozens of the world's most influential tech companies. The royal family doesn't simply invest, they reshape industries. When MBS decided that Saudi Arabia should be a player in global tourism, he didn't just open a few resorts. He launched the Red Sea Project, a series of islands being transformed into an archipelago of luxury hotels, coral reef sanctuaries, and ecological wonders, with construction budgets in the tens of billions. The influence of the Saudi royals extends into sports, media, and entertainment. In recent years, Saudi Arabia has become a key player in global sports diplomacy. It has hosted major boxing matches, Formula One races, and international football friendlies. The kingdom now owns Newcastle United, a historic English football club, via the Public Investment Fund. This is part of a larger push to diversify its global identity, leveraging the universal appeal of sports to draw in investment and shift international perception. At home, the state has been lifting long-held restrictions on concerts, cinema, and public performances. Huge acts like BTS, David Guetta, and Justin Bieber have performed in Saudi Arabia, signaling a dramatic cultural shift. These events are often hosted with royal patronage, organized and funded by entities connected to the crown. It's not just about entertainment, it's about crafting a new national narrative. The old image of Saudi Arabia as closed, strict, and oil-obsessed is being replaced, carefully and intentionally, with one of modernity, vibrancy, and relevance. Beyond global investments and high-profile sports takeovers, the House of Saud is deeply woven into the political fabric of the Middle East. Their influence is not only economic, but ideological, and their alliances and rivalries ripple across continents. As guardians of Islam's two holiest cities, Mecca and Medina, the Saudi monarch holds a unique dual role, king and religious custodian. This position gives the royal family unmatched authority in the Muslim world, allowing them to shape religious discourse and position themselves as both spiritual leaders and political power brokers. Every year, millions of Muslims make the pilgrimage to Mecca, and the entire infrastructure of that experience, from the security to the logistics to the modernization of sacred sites, is overseen by royal command. This spiritual responsibility provides immense soft power, particularly in Sunni-majority countries. It also solidifies internal legitimacy as the monarchy positions itself as not only the political backbone of the state, but its religious soul. But religion is only part of their regional leverage. The royal family maintains deep strategic ties with the West, particularly the United States. These relationships have been forged through decades of arms deals, intelligence cooperation, and mutual economic interests. Since the Cold War, Saudi Arabia has served as a bulwark against Iranian influence, and its cooperation with U.S. administrations, Democrat and Republican alike, has ensured billions in weapons sales and shared regional priorities. At the center of all this power, however, are the people who bear the royal name. With an estimated 15,000 members in the House of Saud and about 2,000 considered influential or active in power circles, this isn't a monarchy in the European sense. It's a dynastic web, a living organism of wealth, allegiance, and carefully curated hierarchy. Understanding the personalities within this royal architecture reveals the gears behind the grandeur. King Salman, the patriarch, is a seasoned statesman with decades of administrative experience, having served as governor of Riyadh for nearly 50 years. His knowledge of the kingdom's elite, tribal alliances, and internal rivalries is encyclopedic. But the House of Saud's legacy isn't built on wealth alone. It's shaped by survival. Surviving internal rebellions, navigating foreign invasions, resisting colonialism, and constantly adapting to shifting global tides. Throughout the 20th and 21st centuries, the royal family has weathered everything from oil price collapses to terrorist threats, Arab Spring unrest, and increasing international scrutiny. In each case, their response has been a calculated blend of financial firepower, tribal diplomacy, and religious legitimacy. Few ruling families in history have had to balance such a complex web of responsibilities to their people, their religion, their partners abroad, and most of all, to one another. One of the more under-discussed aspects of royal strategy is the family's relationship with tribal leadership across Saudi Arabia. The kingdom is not a monolith. It is a federation of deeply rooted tribes, each with its own loyalties, histories, and expectations. The House of Saud has long maintained its grip on power by keeping these tribes close, granting them contracts, advisory roles, military appointments, or cash incentives in exchange for allegiance. This tribal loyalty is both a stabilizer and a vulnerability. As the kingdom modernizes, particularly under Vision 2030, tensions occasionally arise between urban cosmopolitanism and rural conservatism. MBS's push for transformation is a double-edged sword, popular among youth and business elites, but sometimes viewed warily by those who feel their traditional way of life is being pushed aside in favor of internationalism and elite tourism. Controversies have inevitably shaped public perception. The war in Yemen, for instance, has drawn harsh criticism from human rights groups around the world. Saudi-led airstrikes and blockades have contributed to one of the worst humanitarian crises in modern history. The royal family, particularly MBS, has defended the intervention as a matter of national security, aimed at curbing Iranian influence, but international opinion remains divided. Similarly, the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018 inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul marked a turning point in how the West viewed MBS global outrage was swift. Intelligence reports suggested the operation was orchestrated by individuals close to the Crown Prince. Though MBS denied personal involvement, the incident created a permanent mark on his reputation and revealed the kingdom's limitations when it comes to dissent and media freedom. Despite this, the prince retains support within the kingdom, seen by many young Saudis as a strong leader willing to protect national interests at any cost. In the realm of gender rights, the royal family has implemented headline-grabbing reforms, allowing women to drive, attend sports events, travel independently, and participate more freely in the workforce. These changes have been historic considering Saudi Arabia's past restrictions, but they have not come without caveats. Activists who pushed for these rights were often imprisoned, silenced, or placed under surveillance. The message has been clear: reform will happen, but on royal terms. Still, for many Saudi women, the changes have been life-altering. University enrollment among women now exceeds that of men. female entrepreneurs are rising in sectors once thought off limits. And women like Princess Rima and other young royals are representing a new generation of female leadership in both diplomacy and private enterprise. Education, too, has been a focus. The royal family has poured billions into modernizing Saudi Arabia's universities, creating scholarship programs that send tens of thousands of Saudis abroad each year, and partnering with global institutions to launch new research centers. The King Abdullah University of Science and Technology, KAUST, for example, is a world-class graduate-level research university on the Red Sea, designed to compete with top institutions globally. These educational initiatives are part of a long-term plan to create a knowledge economy, reduce dependence on foreign labor, and prepare Saudi youth for the global marketplace. And then, of course, there's the matter of tourism, one of the cornerstones of Vision 2030. Historically, Saudi Arabia was closed off to international tourism, with entry largely limited to pilgrims or business travelers. That's changing rapidly. The royal family has launched ambitious campaigns to promote the kingdom as a destination for adventure tourism, luxury getaways, and heritage exploration. Alula, a breathtaking desert region with ancient Nabatean tombs and sandstone mountains, has been rebranded as a global cultural hub. International artists, musicians, and historians are now being invited to exhibit and perform in settings that once sat in silence for centuries. New tourist visas, luxury resorts, and streamlined airport experiences are designed to attract millions of global travelers annually, not just for religious tourism, but for leisure, history, and business. Yet for all this global ambition, the kingdom still walks a tightrope domestically. Saudi society is young. Over 60% of the population is under 30. This generation is digitally savvy, globally aware, and eager for opportunity. They follow influencers, attend concerts, watch Netflix, and want the same access to jobs and creative freedom enjoyed in other parts of the world. The royal family knows that if they want to keep this generation invested in the kingdom's future, they must offer more than just stipends and ceremonial loyalty. They must offer hope, careers, innovation, mobility. If they fail, the threat of unrest looms, not from ideological radicals, but from ambitious youth who feel their dreams are blocked by bureaucracy or outdated norms. But the Saudis have a playbook, and it's working. By fusing ancient tradition with cutting-edge technology, by mixing tribal diplomacy with global branding, the House of Saud is not just surviving the modern era. It is reinventing monarchy itself. It is proving that a royal family can operate as a corporate board, a cultural ministry, a global investor, and a sovereign power, all at once. No other ruling family on earth has this level of autonomy combined with such international presence. And as the kingdom hurtles toward its Vision 2030 goals, all eyes remain on the royals, because their success or failure will ripple far beyond the desert. In the end, the story of the Saudi royal family is not just about wealth. It is about architecture and art, about control and culture, about power and perception. It is about a family that built a kingdom from scattered tribes and sand dunes, transformed it into a global oil empire, and is now reshaping it into something entirely new. A vision of luxury, leadership, and legacy. Their influence may begin in Riyadh, but it now touches Wall Street, Hollywood, Silicon Valley, and every major capital in between. And perhaps that's what makes them so fascinating, because they don't just live in palaces, they live in boardrooms, in algorithms, in stadiums, in headlines. They don't just lead a nation, they manage an empire of influence, a family of monarchs, investors, reformers, and visionaries, writing their chapter of history not with pen and paper, but with oil, steel, and digital code. This has been Affluence Influenced, the story of a royal dynasty that redefines what it means to be rich, powerful, and global. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below with what stunned you most. Which fact blew your mind? What dynasty should we cover next? Until then, stay curious, stay critical, and stay influenced.